Good morning, y'all. Just going to make a quick video. Just want to say it's been a great weekend. Hung out with my dad at Shiloh Military Park on Saturday. It was amazing. The weather was great. Rained the first part of the day getting up there, but once we got there, it just turned off so pretty, and the temperature was perfect, and we just had an amazing time, just relishing that piece of history for just a little while. I've spent the rest of the weekend mowing and weed eating around the property. The weather has been fair despite the forecast. The weather actually turned off pretty, so it was just wonderful to get out there and just enjoy nature and just work away and do something productive here on the property. Guys, I just want to touch real quick on something related to the Civil War and Civil War history. Shiloh Military Battlefield is in Savannah, Tennessee, Shiloh, Tennessee, Hardin County, and it is just a wonderful place to go if you are a Civil War enthusiast, a history enthusiast, and you enjoy those types of excursions to places such as that. It is completely free except for the gas money it's going to take to get there, and it is just truly an enjoyable experience. You really need a couple of days to get the full experience of it. Now, you can start early and go and see all the sites, but you're definitely not going to be able to read all of the markers and the monuments in one day. So you would definitely need at least a 2-day excursion there to be able to see everything, and possibly maybe even 3 or 4 days. Your day would probably still be full there at Shiloh. All right. Modern history is not, in comparison to the things that were written in the history books at one point in time in this country, in comparison, they're very different. They have a very different perspective, okay? And I'm all for people having a different perspective, okay? But we can't twist and distort history, which is my fear for these modern textbooks and things in relation to my children and what they are learning in school. Okay, my fear is that history is being twisted and distorted because of a woke ideology. Okay, it's the same woke ideology that seeks to tear down a lot of these monuments and statues that myself and my father enjoyed going to see over the weekend. And guys, listen, there are some controversial figures in history. Okay, there are some controversial figures within the Civil War that cannot be denied, especially those on the Confederate side. Okay, Nathan Bedford Forrest was a slave trader before the war began. Okay, he was a fierce Confederate general, excellent military strategist, but absolutely was a slave trader. You got him dead to rights on that, folks. Anywhere you look, whether it's, in a modern textbook or in the historical texts of history, Nathan Bedford Forrest was a slave trader. That's where he made his money. Okay, I believe it was maybe him and his brother that got wealthy within the slave trade. Okay, after the war, he was involved with the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, the extent of his involvement has been debated. Okay, that's something that I would encourage you to do a personal study on, which I'm also going to be doing myself because I need to learn more about it. Okay, I can't fully speak on it to the level that I would like to without doing the proper study. And guys, I'll be the first to admit that I haven't studied Forrest's involvement in the Klan at length, so I can't comment on it the way that I would need to. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there. Okay, there were other controversial figures during the Civil War. Okay, Robert E. Lee, I don't believe it's ever been proven that Robert E. Lee ever purchased a slave with his own money. Now, he did marry into a family that had slaves. Okay, Ulysses S. Grant had many slaves. Okay, I believe that history alludes to that. Okay, again, do your own personal study on these individuals. Okay, I'm not trying to rally for the Confederacy. I'm not trying to rally in favor of the Union at that time. I'm not really trying to rally for either side, guys. I just want you to look at history in the full context, okay, and see things for what they are in the full context. It also has to be said that at that time that slavery was an acceptable part of life within most sections of this country. Okay, the collective social sentiment was that slavery was just something that was an everyday occurrence. It was something that was a part of life, and people, sadly, probably didn't give it that much thought, whether you were pro-Union or pro-Confederate. No matter what part of the country you were living in during that time before the war, slavery was something that was utilized throughout this country. Okay, there may have been more harsh conditions on certain plantations in the South. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. But across the board, slavery existed, guys. And we've got to admit that. We've got to see it. That, whatever the conditions, slavery was a thing in almost every corner of this country at one point in time. Okay? It is now not a thing in the sense that we don't keep people as slaves. Okay? In a very corporate way, I think slavery is still at play at certain levels in this country. I know that slavery, harsh slavery, and harsh slave labor is a part of life in many parts of this world still. And I wouldn't be holding this cell phone right now in my hand recording this video if that weren't the truth. Because this cell phone uses cobalt, as well as many other electronic devices. They use cobalt to be able to function properly. Okay? And cobalt exists in the greatest amount in the DRC, the Congo. And slave labor right now as we speak is being utilized in the Congo to cultivate this cobalt, to mine this cobalt, and to use it to manufacture electronic devices in the name of all of these big corporations making money. Okay? And there are corrupt governments throughout the world that allow this to happen. Okay? And instead of going after these corrupt governments and changing the face of these governments to where that humanitarian aid can be given to these people and that better conditions can be given and that these people would have a choice as to what kind of conditions they work in, instead of making things easier for them in that way, instead of going over there and truly trying to jumpstart change, we're over in other parts of the globe trying to do other things that are not as kosher and as noble as making life better for a group of people whose life is utter hell. Okay? And we need to concentrate a little bit more on the fact that we need to do our best. If we're going to be a force of good in the world, we truly need to be a force of good. We don't need to appear as being a force of good. We need to truly be a force of good. It's not about doing what's popular, folks. It's about doing what's right. Okay? We need to do what's right. Okay? And doing what's right is not always going to win you a whole lot of support. And it's not going to win you a whole lot of friends. You know why I know that they're not truly doing the right thing and the good thing for the most part? I'm talking about our government. Is because they have the support of so many people. Okay? If you truly do something that is noble and right, you are going to be hated by a lot of people. That is just the nature of the beast. You can get on every TV outlet and every piece of social media that there is and condemn evil acts all you want to. Okay? And you'll probably be remembered. And you'll probably be recognized. And people will probably sing your praises. And you'll probably get all kinds of likes on social media and other places. Okay? And the media, mainstream, and every other platform is probably gonna play up to you and sing your praises. Okay? But there are so many people. There are so many people that have walked into the true fires of this world that have been forgotten, that have refused to do the thing that is evil and have decided to go the route of good, and they've had to suffer for it. And some people have had to die. And guys, that's just something that I just wanted to put forth to you, maybe as food for thought today. Okay? We are such a hypocritical bunch of folks in this country. Okay? I'm not talking about every single individual, but the collective. That's absolutely true of them. The government, that's absolutely true of them. I've not always been the most honest person I could be. But guys, right now I'm trying. And I please ask that you not judge me in the context of the things that my past has to show you. But judge me in the context of the thing that I am trying to do right now as we speak. And that's to be a better man every day and to do something good and worthwhile for the world. Okay, and I think that's something that we should all strive to do. We should stop looking back and start looking forward. Now, those that have truly done evil things to people, whether it's in the past or not, those who have truly done some truly heinous things. I'm not talking about making some comment and it being held over your head, for 20 years. Or making some comment 20 or 30 years ago, and then it resurfacing today, and someone trying to hold it over your head because they know you're the same person now that you were then. That's complete and utter bullshit, guys. Okay? And you know it. You admit it to yourself. Okay? I'm talking about people who have killed, people who have raped, people who have caused true suffering to individuals and to the masses. Those people, yes, we have to do something. Those injustices have to be answered. Okay? But making some comment that might have hurt little Skippy's feelings, guys, give me a break. There's real evil in this world. And we're getting tunnel vision for all this minor stuff. Okay? We need to wake the hell up. All right? We need to stop getting tunnel vision to take down all these statues and monuments to our forefathers who may have owned some slaves at one point because it was the socially accepted norm of the time. Okay, it was something that almost everybody with money and means did. Not to say that it was right, but it was socially acceptable. Okay, and things that are socially acceptable now in 200 years may be absolutely and totally shunned by our society, and you need to get a grip on your own thoughts and be yourself and really, truly exercise some individual thought for yourself. All right? We have statues and monuments and buildings to Nazis in this country, paying tribute to them and the work that they did stateside after the war, because instead of executing them and putting them on the sort of trial that they needed to be put on at Nuremberg, and really, truly administering the justice that we needed to administer, we brought them over here and gave them jobs. Oh, in the interest of science, in the interest of beating the Russians. Tell yourself whatever you want to. Guys, doing the right thing is not always popular. Okay? Again. But you don't want a bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest inside the state capitol in Nashville, Tennessee. You don't want his likeness and his statue to be at Health Sciences Park in Memphis, and you want his remains exhumed and sent to Columbia, Tennessee. But in Huntsville, Alabama, they seem to love Werner von Braun, who was a card-carrying active Nazi during World War II. There are so many others. There's so many other Confederate generals I can mention. Forrest is probably the most controversial, and von Braun is certainly the most celebrated in this country, or one of the most celebrated Nazis who came to this country and was given a job by our government. So, guys, let's not get tunnel vision for the one, because it'll cause us to not pay attention to the other. Okay? That's really all I've got for today. I love you guys. God bless you. Take care of yourselves. Something to look at. Certainly study your history. Check out your libraries, guys. I'm going to say a lot of the things, the majority of things on the internet, it's going to be twisted to fit a certain ideology, either left or right. There's nothing really in the middle anymore that's truly transparent and tells the truth. If there is, it's very few and far between. So go out into the world, into your local libraries, gather up some old history books. You can find some things online as far as being able to order books, probably on Amazon and other places, and be able to really study history and really look into it. Guys, diligently study, okay? And if there are any good, worthwhile websites online to check out, guys, you can leave those links in the comments. Okay, I'm looking for true transparency, nothing that plays to any one side or the other, that plays to any certain ideology. Guys, I just want the truth. Okay, I think that's the only thing that's going to set us free at this point. God bless you guys. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to y'all later on. All right. Bye, guys.